We serve folks who are typically the most vulnerable people in our society. We're serving folks who have intellectual disabilities. We serve folks who are low-income elderly, who have no family left. They have no other way to find affordable housing if it were not for us, and then services inside that housing if it were not for us. And in addition to that, we serve folks who have substance abuse issues, who again maybe have run off all of their families. And we're the only family they've got left, and we're sort of their last chance. We're in the love business. That's what we do. It may look different than that. It may look like a new apartment. You know, it may look like a group therapy session. It may look like something else, but it really is the love business. That's what we're in.
It's a wonderful place to work.
When we get to touch someone's life, it's just a blessing. I love my job.
I'm somebody who likes to help people, and I found out that this would be a good place for me to give my input.
This is one big family. The residents look out for each other. Of course, with the staff, we make sure that everybody is okay.
Volunteers of America is different from any other agency. Like, it's a great place.
I really like the idea that Volunteers of America had strong morals and principles and integrated both the faith and the social work together.
23 years ago, I was a client, so I remember.
I find here most of the people that I work with do not have their own agenda. They have one main goal: to make sure, you know, we do the right thing, to make sure we get the funding that we need for our programs, to make sure that we reach our goal, which is serving our clients.
I've met some amazing people who want to do really great work and share what they learn as part of their information gathering across the affiliates to make sure that we all have whatever is working best in one place. We can make an effort to try it out in another.
This is a hands-on opportunity to be face-to-face with people who have some difficulties in their life. It allows you to be appreciative of your own life.
To me, it's not money that is everything. I think the openness of people's mind to assist other people is a valuable tool in any community.
You know the old saying, you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life. I live by that.
This is a place where we really think about care and what that means for a person. When people come in here, they don't really have anywhere else to turn, and we take that seriously.
I think that Volunteers of America does really well at whether we have a program here or we have a program there, and whether it's a small community here and a big community there, we can use ideas, talk about trends, think about what our clients are experiencing, what's going on in government, how do we kind of make it all work together so that we can be more successful.
If I help Volunteers of America save $10,000 or $15,000, that money is going to be used to maybe help the program that we have out there. That's why I love working here, is because I know that we are making a difference. We're trying to make this world a better place.
The staff here, everybody respects you, laugh with you, and you can see that through the faces of people that they're happy to have you around.
It is like a family. We congratulate each other when something amazing has happened in our lives. If we have problems, we ask for prayers, and we get them. It's really special.
It's a wonderful place to work.
They said be prepared for anything, and they were right. They were right.
I think that if you come in and you connect with the mission of Volunteers of America, you are going to have a fantastic career with this organization.
It is a calling, I think, not just for me, but for virtually everyone that works throughout our 16,000 member family. No one ever got rich working for Volunteers of America. No one ever was featured in Fortune 500, you know, or in the magazine because they worked at Volunteers of America. But they will be featured in the hearts and memories of the clients and the families of the clients that we serve.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back. Did you see anyone that you recognized in that video? I saw quite a few people. They were you, and you, and you. And that was our way of saying thank you. That is our new welcome video for employees, and it is available today. in the lobby at the registration desk. So if you would like that, please pick it up so that you can take it back and use that in your affiliate. I want to also thank you. Many of you heard me yesterday, and I received so many invitations to perform my sermon. Believe it or not. And when talking to the people, I realized I was being invited not to their home state, not to their home affiliate, and not even to their home church, but to their home with an audience of 2. But that's okay, because I quickly realized that they had already gotten into work mode. They were helping someone in need. They were helping the most vulnerable. So thank you. Thank you for reaching out to me. With that, we're going to ask Lori to come up and give our reflection and prayer for today.
Good morning. One more time. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I'm Lori Drabant, and I am with Volunteers of America, Western Washington. And Denver's a beautiful city, isn't it? Everybody get a chance to look around a little bit? Yeah, Denver's gorgeous. But this morning, I want to take you to a different place and a different season. It's early morning and it's snowing. Heavy, wet, Cascade Mountain snow. And I'm hiking upwards through a long valley in deep snow. I'm in a scramble class. That's a non-technical climbing class, which means you do summits without ropes. I'm taking this class because heights terrify me. This height terrifies me. My palms are sweating up here. Above us is our target. Today we summit Cowboy Mountain. Now, I'm not the star pupil in this class for more than just my fear of heights. We spent the prior day learning snow arrest. Now, what snow arrest means is you throw your body down a slope of slippery snow, and you got an ice axe, and your object is to get to the point where you can slam your ice axe and your boots in and arrest, stop. It's a good skill to have on a slope of snow. More than once during our practice yesterday, our team leader would look over and yell at me, you know, Lori, so the object of the self-arrest is to arrest. And he's grinning and saying, you know, you got the slide down just fine. That's not the object of the exercise. It's arrest. But today we're heading up in the snow. And my small group leader, Charlie, at one point, he directs us over, away from the groups uphill from us. And he leads us over towards a steep hill that's basically, it's a wall of snow. So Charlie turns to me and he says, Lori, why don't you take the lead and break trail for us? I'm looking at the wall of snow. I'm not seeing a trail. But, you know, I turn and I start to break trail, and on a hill of snow, that means you take your ice axe, you whack your ice axe in, you kick your footsteps in, and you step up. You repeat it over and over. You're basically building a ladder in the snow, and you're pulling yourself up in the ladder in the snow. And it's steep. The 5 other folks on my team are following below me, literally in my footsteps, up the wall. Charlie's bringing up the rear. I'm surprised that Charlie chose me. I mean, I'm easily the weakest person on his team. And breaking trail, it's more work for the leader. You got to kick in first. It gets easier with every person that follows. the steps get more defined, that your path is clear. About 30 feet higher, I stop for a deep breath. We're hugged up against the wall, and I can't see the top. I cannot see the top. And unfortunately, it occurs to me just then that everyone is now spread up against the wall below me, right below me in a line. So I think two things. Number one is don't look down, don't look down. And number two, do not panic. I'm frozen. Now, when I stop, the whole line stops below me. Now, Charlie's been in the climbing business a little while. He gets an idea what's going on. So Charlie yells up from below, "You're almost there, Lori, you got it." And I'm thinking, I don't think Lori's got it. But I take a big breath, and up we go again. And pretty soon I make it. I pull myself up and over the edge, and the rest of my team follows. We regroup, and we head back towards the rest of the class. I'm thankful to be off the wall, and I'm amazed. I'm really amazed. I just did something I did not think I could do. One of the other team leaders in the group spots us and yells over, "Hey, Charlie, what were you doing over there? Why didn't you just come up the valley like all the other groups?" Well, this was the first I had heard of a valley option. So while I'm thinking of how I'm going to get Charlie to a ledge before we get to Cowboy Mountain and push him off, Charlie's grinning and yelling back, "Yeah, well, look what they got to try. That way was way more interesting." I compare this experience, this mountaintop moment of mine, which wasn't at the summit was not the mountaintop moment. I compare it to our work here at Volunteers of America every day, all across the organization. The work that we choose to do as an organization, serving the most vulnerable, and sometimes the most difficult to serve, it may not be the valley route. It's not the way that most would go. But as Charlie says, look what we get to do. And this way is way more interesting. Now, maybe you have someone who's your Charlie, who takes you off the conventional trail, who challenges you, but who also reminds you, you can do this. Maybe you're that Charlie in your organization. Many of us in this room are here because we're leading or we're being prepared to lead. But each of us in this room are breaking trail. And our steps make it easier for those who follow. Join me in prayer now. Lord, when we're asked to step up, when we're asked to reach out, to mentor, to lead, to serve, may you bless us with fortitude and wisdom and Charlies. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. One thing that has become very clear after hearing Lori and Jeff, seeking the summit is not a lonely or should not be a lonely experience. We're in this together. We are seeking the summit together. So let's remember that. I have the pleasure or the ease of introducing a person that needs no introduction. I've had the pleasure of working with Mike over the last 4 years since he joined the national organization. I've had the pleasure of working with him a little more closely since I've taken this role as chair. And I wanted to share a few things that I've learned about Mike since I've taken this position. The first thing, BYOB when you travel with Mike, and that means bring your own breakfast. If you ever travel with Mike, I am in the restaurant in the morning waiting for Mike so we can go to our next session. He walks in, he sits next to me, I order my breakfast. He digs in his bag, he pulls out a Ziploc bag. I'm like, okay, full of Fiber One cereal. Okay, I'm a little perplexed because we are in a major hotel restaurant, trying to figure out why he has the Fiber One. And then he goes back in his bag and he pulls out an orange. Okay, so I had to ask Mike, you know, what are you doing? Are we on a budget? Is something you need to tell me here? You know, are we in that dire financial situation you didn't tell the board chair? But it shows the discipline that he has. I mean, he knows he is on the road so much, and he wants to make sure that he stays healthy. So he does not leave his health up to the restaurant or wherever he is. He really does bring his own breakfast. So next time I travel with Mike, I know I would bring my own breakfast. The other thing that I've learned about Mike is that I did not know this until yesterday. Mike has a lot of soul. Did you see him at the church yesterday? Oh my. I was just so happy. I mean, that is my brother. That is my brother. He was there. He was there with me. So thank you for showing me that side of you. That meant a lot to me. It meant a lot. I also learned that Mike is a great listener. He really is. I mean, James 1:19 said that we should be quick to listen and slow to speak. And I watched him, and he travel around to the different affiliates, and he listens, and he makes sure that he's very inclusive of what people are saying. And not only does he listen to what people are saying, he listens to what they're not saying. And that's very, very, very important. He is a servant leader. You know, he has a heart to serve beyond what you can imagine. He thinks about this. He sleeps about this. I mean, he is really in this, I believe, for the right reason. And last, he is a visionary with favor. It's one thing to be a visionary, but he's a visionary with favor. And what he says, you begin to see it come to pass. I remember a couple of years ago, Mike announced to the board, I think we should be a household name. And you should see the gloss over look on all the board members' faces. Yeah, Mike, we're 100-some years old. We never had any national advertising. You're saying we're going to be a brand. Yes, okay, you know, we're behind you. And today, wow, how many of you have seen any of our spots on television? Wow. Amazing, just absolutely amazing. So I told him the other day, watch what you say, because you're going to get it. But then I also whispered a few things that I wanted him to do and said, say this, Mike, just say it, just repeat after me. So I'm still working on that piece. But it is this combination of Mike's characteristics that allow him to carry out the mission of Volunteers of America. So I want to thank you for your leadership. And today we have an opportunity to hear Mike share some of the things he's been doing around his vision. Mike?
Well, we decided that instead of having a presidential speech, we're going to bring in the band and have a dance, okay? because that was a whole lot of fun. Okay, that was I do remember one thing. I did give you a hint about that because I remember a question that was asked. Remember when we had that all-board interview? Remember that when I was interviewing 4 years ago? And one person asked, "Is there anything about yourself, that you haven't told us?" And what I was thinking, and I didn't say it. I said it later at a board introduction. But what I was thinking was, well, I'm not a bad dancer. And that's really what I wanted to say. It's really what I wanted to say. I thought if I say that, they're going to think I'm the stupidest guy that ever walked. I can't say that at the board interview, but I wanted to. Okay, I really wanted to. Goodness gracious, you got me. You got me, sis. You got me. Totally figured out. I mean, she's told you all my little secrets here. So there's no more. There really are no more. And this is not about me, as you know. This is about all of you. I really do believe that we will be a household name. I really do believe that. And I think we can see it. I think we can absolutely start to see it. Yeah, we can. But the most important part of that is, to me, I believe you deserve that. The work you do deserves to be a household name all across America. Think about the leverage that gives you to serve. Think about the leverage that gives you to transform lives once that transformation happens. And it has begun, and that's part of what we're going to talk about this morning. This is going to be not your typical President's Address. This is going to really be a reporting out, if you will, about the branding, as well as sharing new material that's coming down the pipe for all of us to use. And at the same time, talking about some of the recent things we've done just in the last 3 months, literally just in the last 3 to 4 months, that open up new opportunities for us. So that's really kind of where we're headed. Now, one of the things that we're going to share with you is just recently, we had the chance to gain a partial sponsorship in a ladies professional golf tournament on the LPGA Tour, and actually be a co-sponsor of that event thanks to Colonial Life. And is Colonial Life here in the room? Or our reps here in the room? I know they had a display outside. They're going to be at our luncheon today and making a check presentation, but their sponsorship really helped us do that. It positioned us to be part of the sponsorship of that event, showing for 4 days broadcast on the Golf Channel, our spots being rotated throughout the broadcast, and not to mention incredible signage throughout the tournament, so that you couldn't get a live shot in the golf tournament without it seeing a sign of Volunteers of America somewhere there. And all of that was actually filmed on Pro-Am Day by our own Christina Hughes on her iPhone camera, okay, on her iPhone camera, and then we handed it over to Hope and Alejandra, and they've done a nice job of putting together a quick video of it, and my good friend Trevor, you're going to recognize some footage in here that you're going to like. We'll talk more about that later, but if we can, let's roll the video of the LPGA. All right. Now, the person that actually worked on filming of that is sitting right there. This is a perfect time to introduce our new family members, James Keach and Trevor Albert, who have produced the Glenn Campbell film, I'll Be Me. And Trevor, well, that was his first real film job, right, working on Caddyshack. Stand up, guys. Stand up, guys. I want y'all to get a round of applause from folks. You're going to hear more about their project later from Dawn, but also you need to know that they are totally our family members. They actually were at our worship service last night and even filming parts of our worship service last night, and they have totally embraced Volunteers of America, and that's part of the new relationship building that we need to do as a household name. And that's really where we're headed with that. Now, in addition to that, we've had great support this year from, as you can see, our in-house crew, our own stream team and video team and film production team in-house between Hope and Alejandra. They've also, yes. They have also literally become our brand managers, if you will, as they work throughout the country with the affiliates, helping to produce consistency in this image and really helping produce that kind of brand identification. And that's so crucial as we go forward, and they've been integral to that. In addition to that, Doug McAllister and his team from the communication side has also been active looking for ways to take the images and adapt them to your use. And one of the most creative things they did was literally take the print ad campaign and convert it to being used in our national services market rate promotions for market rate housing, which was a very different audience than the audience we typically attract and go for with our other advertising. And so great work on their part to serve Wayne Olson and his team. Terrific cooperation there and support there. That helps spread that message. In addition to that, even additional local ad buys. The New Orleans affiliate, and where are you guys out there? Y'all stand up. There you are, stand up. These guys did an additional, and there's Lenny, they did an additional $40,000 ad buy in that market alone to do additional spots, and not coincidentally, also saw a huge increase in their auto donation program at the same time frame, right, Lenny? So, it works. That is working. So what's been the total investment? What's been our total activity over like the last 15 months? Well, as you might remember, it started with a $1 million ad buy with CNN, thanks to the Richards Group sitting right over here, and they're going to come up later to really show you some new exciting stuff. $1 million ad buy through CNN, but then that's been supplemented by about $6 million worth of PSA time on those same spots going around the country. Now, if you wonder, well, what are other folks doing? Our competition is spending between $3 and $5 million a year on ad buy. Okay, we're spending $1 million against their $3 to $5 million. So we knew we had to leverage a lot even to be in the ball game. So you take the $1 million, you add $6 million of PSA time, and in addition to that, then we've had print ads running in national magazines, and you've seen these: Time, Food and Wine, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, AARP, Scientific American, major publications that total a value of $2 million worth of print ads nationwide that have appeared in just like the last 6 months there. Major impact for us. So what's the result? What's the result of that? Well, hot off the press, I mean, literally, last Friday, Michael, is that right? Last Friday, we got the results of our second brand tracking study. We did a baseline study last year, which, as Michael points out, we actually did the study right after the campaign launch. I mean, we would have preferred to have done it before the launch, but it was right after the launch, so we'd had a little bit of a bump already. But we did the study to see where we stood. Well, we have wonderful results from that. The first big result is we were at 33% aided awareness last year. In other words, when you mentioned, have you ever heard of Volunteers of America, 33% of the folks would say, yeah, I think I have. That's jumped up to 40% now. 40%. That's a 7% jump in just 1 year. That is huge. That is absolutely huge as a result of this other. Now, the spinoff of that on the inside of us is we were trying to drive traffic to the website. That was really what our ask was, to drive it back to the website. We've had e-commerce transactions go up 24%, donations go up on 33%, and the conversion rate of folks going to the website and then doing something on the website go up 34%. That is yeah, you betcha, you deserve it. You deserve it. That is absolutely major. That's the impact of that. Now, we're not standing still. You know, we're not going to stand still. The new involvement for us is with the Glenn Campbell I'll Be Me film produced by James Keats and Trevor Albert that we've been involved in now for about the last 4 or 5 months and have really invested in and become partners in, because it is in alignment with the caregiving that we do for those in the aging community who are in that vulnerable space right now in their lives. We are in the caregiving business. That's why we are in the love business. And this film relates to that. You're going to hear more about that and see a trailer at the end of this session, and then you're going to have opportunities to engage with James and Trevor really throughout the day, virtually, and in this evening with the screening. This is all a part of that strategy of getting in front of the right audiences at the right time with the right message. But the best is yet to come, because we're not stopping at this, okay? We're not stopping at this. There's more. The Richards Group has done more creative work on our behalf and have brand new work to share with us. And I have to tell you, I imposed on them last Friday when I saw the ad work that was in our program and that we were going to be having here at the conference. I thought, you know, you weren't going to get this until 2 this afternoon. Well, I didn't want you to have to wait until 2 this afternoon. I said, I'll cut my stuff a little short. I want them up right now in front of everybody, God and everybody, and share the new ad work that's coming to you guys for you. So let's bring them up. Let's get a big round of applause for Greg and Rob to come show you the new work.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. We always have to start from the Richards Group and remember to tell you guys that it's an honor that you allow us to help build such a worthy brand. We take it seriously, and you know, we work on a lot of different accounts, but this one is special to us. We have a bunch of new work today. We've all seen outdoor boards with 5,000 point type that says your ad here. There seems to be a lot of them across the country, and our media folks recognized that and said, we think we can get a lot of donated media in the outdoor medium. So Greg and I'm an art director by trade, Greg's a writer. We decided to start working on coming up with an outdoor board, which is a really big challenge. Like, I think the outdoor boards are probably the biggest challenge for a brand to both tell a story, tell what you do in 3 big elements at somebody driving 60 miles an hour by the thing. So our approach on this assignment was to try to tell what Volunteers America does in a very, very strong and simple way. It's a big challenge. Stan Richards, who owns the Richards Group, is really a specialist, I think, in outdoors, so there was a little pressure on Greg and I to bring it. So the first thing we did is we took broad themes that many of you deal with every day, and we photographed real Volunteers of America employees who literally, in this creative, push against the issues. The themes, we wanted the themes to be broad enough that they could be used nationally, but we also did 7 of them so that they could be specific enough for individual markets to utilize them. For instance, isolation. We know many of you assist the elderly, and so that concept we thought would work well in many markets. And it's sort of up to you to figure out which one of these works best in your market, or maybe there's more than one, because we know you deal with a lot of issues. So we have neglect, hunger. It was actually quite fun shooting these are real employees in the red t-shirts, and they had fun doing this, I think. So if we're always open for volunteers for other photo shoots. I'm looking across the room here. a lot of good-looking people. So we created these 7 different concepts. Along the way, we recognized something, that there could be potential for branding this Volunteers of America red shirt. It's probably not universal across Volunteers of America, but we've noticed when we did the TV commercials a year and a half ago, the guys helping feed people and have the red shirt. It's by design that we use the employees' shirts and colors to mirror the logo, and we think that has some potential down the road, both in reality and in marketing. So it's always fun to have our eyes open as we develop creative to see what other icons we can create in building this brand. So the campaign is growing. This is one of our newer elements, and we have another very important new element that my writer partner Greg Christensen is going to present to you now. Thank you all. These are available, these boards and the artwork, so we have a breakout session at 2 o'clock that if you want to get involved in that, we can tell you how to get the assets. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. And thank you. I wanted to express our gratitude before I begin. I have a few words to say concerning taglines, but I wanted to express our gratitude. We work on national brands every day, and when reports come back that say the work that we're doing is succeeding, it gives us a great feeling, and it usually comes back to us that we are beating the competition. But with Volunteers of America, we look at it, and when we see success, it's not beating a competitor, it's seeing you make a difference, and it's being able to know that people out there, their lives are being changed because of the work you do. So thank you for the work that you do, and sincerely thank you for letting us participate in this opportunity. If I were to say, just do it, you'd all know exactly who I'm talking about. If I were to say, I'm loving it, or are you in good hands, you know exactly who I'm talking about. You not only know the name of the company, you know the logo, you know the colors that they use, and most importantly, you have an expectation for them. I haven't even said their names, but you have an expectation for a company based on that tagline. A tagline can be a very powerful tool in helping a brand, a company, any entity become a household name. And recognizing that, Mike asked us to put some thought to it, and I want to share some of the process with you on that. I should point out that we are aware that some of you use taglines already. Some of you do not. And some of you who use taglines may be using a different tagline than one of your fellow affiliates. But in terms of a unifying tagline to help build a household name, there isn't a single tagline used by Volunteers of America right now. I should point out that the line, "This is why we do what we do," is not necessarily a tagline. It wasn't intended to be a tagline. It's a good piece of communication that we think should still be in use. And it makes great sense when it's with an image. But if we just say Volunteers of America, this is why we do what we do, it's a little blind, and you can't build a national brand, a household name, blindly. So as we look at different taglines, if we look at successful examples, we see that different taglines do different things. Some explain what a brand is or does, which might be the ultimate driving machine, or we do chicken right. You know what they are, you know what they do. Some taglines convey an emotion. They want an emotion to be tied to the brand. Just do it. I'm loving it. Those are emotional lines. Some companies use their taglines to say what they want you to do. Think different, or don't leave home without it. You know all of these companies. I haven't even said their names, but the taglines speak volumes in terms of what your expectations are for them. So looking at some of these taglines and working with taglines daily, we thought that to help build Volunteers of America into a household name, we need a tagline that tells people who have never heard of Volunteers of America what you are, what you do, so that they can understand that. So that even without saying Volunteers of America, they can hear the line and go, I know who you are, you're Volunteers of America. We looked at several lines. We wrote several. I wrote most. Rob wrote several too, though. He's the art director. And every line that we looked at, we had to look at it and put it to the test. We said, if we didn't know anything about Volunteers of America, does this line work? Does this line tell us anything? Or is it just kind of a fun, addy, snappy sounding line? And if it was one of those lines, we just cut it, because we want people to know who you are and what you do. So for those of us in the room, in this room, and those outside this room who have never heard of Volunteers of America before, we took some lines to Mike and we said, this is the line that we think does the best job of building the brand. Who is Volunteers of America? What do you do? Volunteers of America is helping America's most vulnerable. Let me tell you why this tagline can help Volunteers of America become a household name. First of all, it's clear. It tells people who Volunteers of America is. It's also differentiating. It lets people know how you are different from any other charity that they might be willing to donate to or be involved with. It's ownable. We looked at other charities. There is no other charity that you can put their name with this line and have it be as true with the same power. Other charities do good work, but no other charity is helping America's most vulnerable. That's what you do. It encompasses everything you do, no matter what your core programs are, no matter what affiliate you are, no matter who you are helping. All across the country, you are all helping America's most vulnerable. It's also empowering. It lets all of us in this room know, and our clients know, where we are, where we stand with them, and where we're going together. And lastly, it talks about America. That's who we're helping. That's another key differentiator. This is reminding us that we are helping our fellow Americans. We would like you to use this line. We would like you to rally around it, because we would like, in 5 years, when you are talking to someone and you say, oh, I work for Volunteers of America, their first reaction is, oh, helping America's most vulnerable. And when that happens, we'll know that we are a household name. Let me turn to radio now. The last couple meetings that we've had with you, we've heard your requests for some radio. And Mike has asked us to write look at writing some scripts, what we would do, how we would communicate the Volunteers of America voice in any donated radio. And we've got 2 scripts that we'd like to share with you. These have not yet been produced. These will be produced later on this month, but we want to give you a sneak preview of these. This is one of the benefits of coming to the meeting. You get to hear this exciting radio before anyone else does. Although the downside is you have to have me read it to you. The first commercial is called Thank You. And like our print campaign, it features actual thank you notes from your actual clients. These are not words that I sit at my desk and write. These are words that people have sent to you saying, thank you for changing my life and helping my family, and however you have made a difference in their life. These are their words. So like the print campaign, we would feature the different thank you notes, and this radio commercial would feature different voices reading different notes. And it would also have an announcer explaining how Volunteers of America relates. This uses the line, this is why we do what we do. It also utilizes the new tagline. So if you are imagine driving in your car and you hear this radio commercial come on, and the first thing you hear is a man's voice, and he says, "Dear Volunteers of America, thank you for seeing me as a veteran and not a homeless man." And that's followed by a teenage voice who says, "Thank you for actually listening to me and caring about what I have to say." And that could be followed by a child's voice who says, "Thank you for my new shoes. I wear them every day to school." And an announcer comes in and says, "At Volunteers of America, this is why we do what we do." And then you hear a woman's voice say, "When you are alone, time passes very slowly. Thank you for your visits. It helps a lot." You hear another teenage voice say, "Thank you, you did not give up on me. You might hear an elderly woman say, for the first time in a long time, I can trust someone. I want to thank you. An announcer says, for over 115 years, we've been helping those who need us most. Not overseas, not in some distant land, but right here at home. Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable. And then using this in your own markets, you could tag it with, there's time here for you to tag it with your own message, or we would provide you just a generic tag where they just say, to see the difference we're making in your area and how you could help, visit voa.org. But we would provide that to you in a 60-second commercial and a 30-second commercial, and make sure that you're able to tag it in both instances. We also have a radio commercial called American Voices. And this one would also feature an announcer, but it would also feature the song America the Beautiful. But this song won't be an instrumental. It'll be a single voice singing, and it won't be necessarily a crisp, clear, beautiful voice. It might be the voice of an elderly woman singing America the Beautiful. It might be a very coarse, harsh voice that you can tell in the voice, it's someone who has been through a lot and been through some hard times. It might be a child's voice, but in any case, it would be a sincere voice. No matter the difficulties that they have, we want them to be sincere when they are singing this song. So the song may begin where you have this voice, again, not a crisp, clear one, but someone that you may know, sounds like someone you may have been working with, singing, "Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber ways of grain." And as that person continues singing America the Beautiful, the voiceover says, "Volunteers of America helps more than 2 million people every year. Not overseas, not in some distant land, but right here at home." At which point, we cut back to the voice, or the voice rises again, where we hear, "America, America, God shed his grace on thee." And the announcer continues, "We help our vets, our elderly, our troubled teens, our homeless. For over 115 years, we go wherever we are needed and do whatever comes to hand. Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable." And we end with the line, "From sea to shining sea," sung by the client. And the tagline, I didn't even sing it. Imagine when you hear someone actually singing it. And then the tagline, "To see the difference we're making in your area and what you can do to help, visit voa.org," or your own customized tag. We expect to produce these commercials later on this month, and they'll be made to you as soon as possible. We'll work with Mike and our team here to make sure that you have access to those as soon as we can. But we look forward to producing those and speaking with you later on in the 2 p.m. session. Thank you again for letting us work on your brand. We'll turn the time to Mike.
Is that cool or what? Is that really cool? Man, oh man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Nancy Gopis. Nancy Gopis was my soulmate as we were launching this and going to an organization that hadn't spent a nickel on paid advertising for itself in 115 years, and said, "I think we ought to spend $1 million. What do you think?" You know? And here we go. Here we go. Rock and roll. It can happen. It can happen. You know, in another life, I actually did this before with another entity called the Volunteer Center. We had a campaign called the Volunteer Connection, done very similarly with our singular ad buy exclusively on CNN. We did a campaign singularly on the NBC affiliate and gave it to them, and for that we got primetime airings because of that exclusivity. Same way that really we got to buy here with the CNN. But we didn't just do that. We did the same thing that we're doing here today, and that is we tried to do other things too. We did bus signs, we did bank statements, you know, we did billboards, we did the whole bit. And then we asked folks, when they called in to volunteer, we had our counselors ask, "How did you hear about us?" Because we wanted to know which pieces of the collateral, you know, had the most impact. How'd you hear about us? And this is a true story. One morning I came in for work and talked to the volunteer counselor, and they said, "You got to hear this, what happened last night." So I took a call last night and referred to somebody, and I asked him, "How'd you hear about us?" And this guy said, "You want to know how I heard about you? I'll tell you how I heard about you. First of all, I'm driving home from work. and I'm behind a bus. And out there on the bus is this sign that says, join the Volunteer Connection. Okay. I drive by a billboard. And there on this billboard is this big sign that says, join the Volunteer Connection. I finally get to my neighborhood, but before I get to my neighborhood, I pull in the grocery store. And I stop and get some groceries. And there on all the grocery bags is join the Volunteer Connection. I get home, I put the groceries up, I go outside and get the mail, open up my bank statement, look at my bank statement, and there's a flyer that says join the Volunteer Connection. So, oh my God, so then I'm going to sit down and watch a little TV. I turn on the TV and the first thing that pops up is join the Volunteer Connection. Heck, I didn't volunteer, I surrendered. That's a true story. Absolutely true story. Well, you know what? You know what? You know what our goal is, don't you? We're going to have them surrendering to Volunteers of America. That's where we're going, guys. That is where we're going. We can absolutely do this. It is absolutely achievable. We've already started to achieve it. We have momentum like crazy. And when you have momentum, you don't play defense. When you have momentum, you play offense. You go farther and you go harder. And you get more determined, and you can see it. You can absolutely see it. And so it will happen. And you know what? What's going to happen along with that is we're going to change the way America thinks about caregiving, about aging, about poverty, about addiction, about rehabilitation. And when this happens, when we do this, Volunteers of America will be a household name. Thank you very much.